They did this with all the women. Then they said, "Now you Albanians go to Albania."
For these children, reports of rape and murder of their loved ones are as common as bedtime stories. The evil that took place in this masjid has changed their lives forever.
You could see some of them with their eyes open and keeping them staring in one place. You can see another one scared. Every child in Kosovo, especially in the region that have been hit mostly by the war, has a story to tell. And some of them are able to tell, and some of them, they don't know how to tell, and some of them have lost everything, lost their memory, lost their will to live, traumatized, their families being massacred in front of them.
We've been involved with Islamic relief for a number of years now, starting with Palestine and Afghanistan and Iraq and Bosnia and so on. Very intensively in Bosnia. I've been there several times, and now to Kosovo. The work of dawah has to be at the time the relief is being done. Otherwise, basically what we're doing, we're clothing and we're feeding corpses. And along with physical needs, there is a big part of the person, of a human being, of a Muslim, that's a spiritual. That's that connection with your Creator, with the other people within your ummah, Muslim to Muslim, heart to heart. This is what we're talking about.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. There are children that come around me and literally begging me to teach them the verses from the Quran. And I believe this is the responsibility of the Muslim Ummah from throughout the world, to come here and to give them whatever assistance possible, and the best of it is in terms of education. 2, 3.
We don't know how often that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us with an opportunity to do a much deeper work than just beyond feeding and clothing.
I've treated patients who have undergone great stresses in their life, catastrophes in their life. But very frankly, I have not met patients like I have met in the last many days. It's very wrong to say that it's all over. In fact, the real problem just started.
حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على الصلاة.
Decades of communist persecution almost robbed them of their faith. Ethnic cleansing almost robbed them of their country.
Well, here we are, shattered like our home. Well, here we are, frightened and alone, and we've returned to a land of fear.
And yet the people of Kosovo have not surrendered. Without waiting for NATO or the UN, 800,000 Kosovars returned to their homes. Many people are not waiting for the West to rebuild their country. Desolation is one face of Kosovo. Another is the will to survive.
I have been witness of many houses in Kosovo, from their own owners, their families. They're getting together and helping one another fixing their houses. Their will to stay and the love of that land was so high, and the morale was so high, I was not able to understand. After all this happened to them, they came back in a flash.
They took 36 people. On April 30th, the paramilitary tied them up and massacred them. 13 are buried here. 3 of them are children. 6 of them are my relatives, including my father. Even if all the other people in my family were to die, I still would want to see Kosovo rebuilt.
I have been in Kosovo in 1981. At that time, not even that you cannot talk about Islam, but everyone was embarrassed to be a Muslim. Today, that is gone. I have seen students, medical students, lawyers, engineers, coming to pray to the masjid. And I have seen a sister, doctor, wearing hijab in a hospital.
So Kosovars for the first time are actually allowed to look into their past, to look into their tradition. What faith, do we have? And Islam is in their background. It's in their culture, it's in their traditions. It was their way of life. And you find that with all the people, that you speak to, they remember, they would say, my grandmother used to pray, my mother used to pray, I don't, but my daughter will, inshallah.
The promise of foreign aid to Kosovo remains unfulfilled. It's almost certain that no funds will be given for reviving Kosovo's spiritual heritage. Adding insult to injury, the media image of Kosovars after the war has tried to create a link between Islam and intolerance.
This article here is one thing that I do not feel very good about it, because why don't you show mosque that has been destroyed?
Even in Malaysia, when I was talking to one of my colleagues who is a professor in the university, he asked me, why are you going to Kosovo? It's all over. Now the Kosovars are killing the Serbs. Alhamdulillah, it's been proven correct that first the Albanians are not killing Serbs here. We have got to correct this misconception that are being conveyed by people from the West who have given a skewed picture of the whole situation.
To understand the true potential of Muslims in Kosovo, we need to reflect on what can happen if people are given the freedom to learn the true teachings of Islam.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
The results can be remarkable.
La ilaha illallah.
The Albanian Islamic Cultural Center stands as a testament to Islam's ability to transform communities. From a small masjid in Staten Island, AICC has established one of the largest Islamic centers in the entire state of New York. The masjid has come to symbolize a revival of Islam for an entire community.
1983, I was a young man and lost in the wild. The United States for me looked like a country where you can do everything, and everything was normal for me to do. Alhamdulillah.